I literally begin my day watching anime and I end my day watching anime.
Favorite anime is Naruto, Shippuden.
Like No Face and Spirited Away. The way that he just, oh my God.
I love My Hero Academia. Everybody knows that. I'm Todoroki Tina.
I rediscovered Akira and actually knew what it was.
Spirited Away and like Totoro and like...
I just got done watching Assassination Classroom. I really like Soul Eater.
And I had the biggest crush on the dragon in that movie.
I've literally seen Sasuke and Naruto grow up.
I'm just a little weeb.
It's almost like when you like smell something that smells really awesome and it reminds you of your childhood. Like I saw this thing and I was like, oh my God, I remember exactly where I was when I saw it for the first time.
Does Samuel L. Jackson like anime?
Yes, I do. Hentai too.
Anime. Back in 2011, it was considered a niche thing, and the people that watched it were perceived as the nerdiest of nerds. I would know. I was one of them. Now, fast forward to 2022, anime is considered a cool thing, and the people that watch it are still nerds. What the fuck were you expecting? But everyone seems to be more accepting of them in this day and age, in no small part due to its massive spike in popularity over the years. In this video, I try to uncover some of the reasons as to why anime has become so popular in recent times. But I must specify a few things. I'm not going to be talking about anime shows in particular because anyone can say that, oh, it's cause Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Naruto are so good. Well, no shit, Einstein, that's pretty obvious. Instead, I'm going to be taking a look at the outside factors, like accessibility and pop culture, among other things. And bear in mind, I'm only going to be covering the rise in popularity of anime from the early 2010s to now. Speaking of the 2010s, what a crazy time, huh? PewDiePie just started his YouTube channel, Crunchyroll was illegally uploading anime for profit, and trying to watch your favorite Japanese cartoons meant either navigating a landmine of porn and penis enlargement ads, or buying a pirated physical copy off the street from a guy named Jose. I did a bit of both, and I already know some of you privileged fucks out there are gonna be like, I actually watched anime on Cartoon Network and Toonami. Shut the fuck up, Kyle. I did too, but all they showed were reruns of Blue Dragon and Beyblade over and over again. Safe to say, in 2010 and the years before that, anime was at a point where people knew what it was, but the selection of shows was severely limited to mostly the shonen genre, and that's why shows like these were a lot of people's first animes. For a lot of us, these were the only anime we were exposed to. Now, obviously, I don't speak for everyone. I'm sure some people were interested enough to venture out and watch other shows, but I feel like the majority of me's were just waiting to be spoon-fed the next popular shonen, and I think that was the problem. If you wanted to watch an anime that wasn't shown on TV, you first had to know about the anime, either through a friend, which was highly unlikely, or worse, the internet. Then you had to scour the web to find a shady website that actually streams it. And after turning down thousands of hot singles in your area, you'd finally get to watch the first episode. I'm not exaggerating when I say that you had to go through hell to watch a new anime, but all of that was about to change near the mid-2010s. Boom! Netflix launched its first original anime in 2014, which, metaphorically, opened the floodgates for more anime to be produced and streamed in the years to come. We take the resources we can from the money from our members and allocate it towards what they want, and what we see that they want is more anime, says John Derderian, Netflix's director of content. Funimation saw what Netflix was doing and was like, ayo, bet. Partners with Crunchyroll in 2016 so that Crunchyroll can stream Funimation's animes and vice versa. Crunchyroll, yeah, remember that platform streaming illegal anime back in the day? Well, they get injected a buttload of money and start legally distributing not just a ton of anime, but also in 2013, they began distributing 12 different manga titles on Crunchyroll Manga. One of them would later be adapted to an anime called Attack on Titan. Maybe you've heard of it. I don't know. By the way, this is also a crucial factor in its own unique way, but I'll touch on that later on, because now, seemingly in a blink of an eye, anime became way more accessible than it ever was, and you didn't have to wait till 10 PM to watch it either. With just a click of a button, you could watch a myriad of shows anytime you want from the comfort of your bed, your couch, or even your toilet. This was game-changing. Except for one thing. While yes, it's amazing that all the mega corporations are sticking their money-hungry hands into anime, they kinda forgot one crucial thing. We're all fucking broke. Telling my mom I wanted to watch Japanese cartoons on the internet for $10 a month? Frankly, I'd rather get my head chopped off. Despite anime's rapid growth, the truth is, some people either didn't have the money or were still hesitant to spend it just to watch anime. And that's why sites like Baba Booey and all the other not-so-legal streaming websites started multiplying out of nowhere. Before, you just had one or two of them that would each take turns getting shut down. Now you have 20 of them, all having their own backups in case one of their sites gets taken down. But believe me when I say that this was also pivotal to anime reaching a wider audience, because it meant that the inherent exclusivity of having to pay to watch anime was no longer there. Now all you needed was a working internet connection. And I honestly think that without sites like these, anime wouldn't be nearly as big as it is now. But do you know what else is bigger? If you said these nuts, you're an idiot. Nerd culture. Nerd culture is massive nowadays. If you remember at the start of the video, I briefly mentioned that people were more accepting of nerds in this day and age. And you don't have to look far to understand why. Simply open up Google and type in the words highest grossing movies. Click on the first link and you'll get your answer. Out of the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time, half of them are what you would stereotypically consider as nerdy. But that's not all. Take note of the years that they were released as well. All of them were put out in the last decade or so, meaning that over the past 10 years, not just anime, but nerd culture and liking nerdy things in general slowly became the mainstream. So what I said earlier about society accepting nerds was actually completely false. We didn't accept the nerds, we became the nerds. Still don't believe me? Well, let's take a look at another subgroup of losers that used to be made fun of. The rise of gaming took the world by storm. According to Statistica, the gaming industry is worth more than the film and music industries combined. And while gaming has already been mainstream for quite some time, I feel like nothing encapsulates it more than in 2018, when a guy with weirdly colored hair played a game of Fortnite with one of the biggest celebrities in the world, Drake.
I got 5K donation if you get this dub right now.
Yeah?
5K dono if you get this dub, Ninja. You heard me?
I hear you.
He said I hear you.
As if I wasn't trying hard enough.
I'm a man of my word. I got you. That's epic.
Let's go.
Yo, you're epic, man.
Now, I'm probably the only person in history to ever say this, but Drake playing Fortnite was a monumental event. Look, I'm not saying Drake single-handedly made Fortnite popular. Fortnite was already pretty big before the Drake and Ninja collab. But let's face it, celebrities are the quickest way for your product to gain attention. Slap any kind of product on a celebrity and you're bound to get interest. The bigger the celebrity, the bigger the publicity. And if someone like Drake was playing Fortnite, then it's only natural to assume that a bunch of people hopped on that bandwagon. Applying that same formula to the anime scene, it's no surprise that when Megan Thee Stallion said she watches Attack on Titan, a lot of people probably started watching it as well. Honestly, I wish I could say the same for myself, but instead, I found Attack on Titan in the most cringy way possible. Memes. Now maybe some of you don't quite understand the severity of my statement. For a bit of context, I watched Attack on Titan during the year of its release. Attack on Titan released in 2013, back when everyone was still using 9gag and the memes that we found funny looked a little something like this. Don't get me wrong, it's still shit today. But you can't argue with the fact that without memes, shitty or not, we wouldn't have found some of the animes that we watch today. Hell, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure's entire fan base was built on the foundation of memes. JoJo released on October 6, 2012. Now, be honest with me. When did you actually start watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? The answers may vary from person to person, but I think I can safely assume it was around here in late 2016, 2018, or 2019. And I mean, I don't blame you. I'd check out the show too if my timeline was completely spammed with That's gonna be it from me. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want, but I'll still see you on the next one. Bye.